observant, observant, Buddhist, 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 burden, 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 react, 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 collaboration, 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 queer, 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 redo, redo, Buddhist, Buddhist, burden, burden, Buddhist, 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 burden, 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 react, 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 collaboration, 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 queer, 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 redo, 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 worn down, worn down, worn down, worn down, mood, 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 worn down, worn down, worn down, mood, 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 glue, 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 mood, 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 glue, 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 brush, 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 instruction, 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 Buddhist, Buddhist, burden, burden, react, react, collaboration, 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 queer, queer, redo, redo, worn down, worn down, worn down, mood, mood, glue, glue, brush, 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 instruction, 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 rug, 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 regal, 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 rug, 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 regal, 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 stage, 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 regal, regal, rug, 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 regal, regal, stage, 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 compliment, 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 rug, 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 regal, 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 stage, 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 compliment, compliment, complement, accomplish, 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 singular, 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 accomplish, 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 singular, 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 vision, 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 singular, 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 vision, 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 district, 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 rug, 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 regal, 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 stage, stage, compliment, 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 accomplish, 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 singular, 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 vision, 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 district, 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 to see, to see, to see, to see, to see, compelling, to see, compelling, 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 judge, 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 panel, panel, judge, judge, panel, panel, admission, 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 institute, 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 admission, 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 institute, 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 admission, to see, to see, to see, to see, compelling, 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 judge, 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 panel, 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 admission, 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 institute, 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 yell, 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 prestigious, 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 schooler, 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 exception, 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 parallel, exception, 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 Paula, 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 exception, 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 Paula, Paula, schooler, schooler, prestigious, 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 schooler, schooler, inspection, 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 exception, 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 Paula, Paula, exception, exception, Paula, Paula, exception, exception, Paula, Paula, triptych, 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 intend, 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 triptych, 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 intend, 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 homage, 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 consumerism, 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 homage, 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 consumerism, 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 homage, homage, intend, intend, homage, homage, consumerism, 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 pod, pod, compost, compost, pod, pod, compost, compost, pod, 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 compost, compost, being, being, struggled, 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 adapt, struggled, struggled, adapt, adapt, struggled, 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 adapt, 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 struggled, been, 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 struggled, 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 adapt, 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 custom, 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 merely, 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 verify, 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 ruiner, 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 literally, 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 include, 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 seed, seed, include, 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 seed, 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 livelier, 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 George, George, Sarah, George, Sarah, George's series, George's Sarret, George's Sarret, George's Sarret, developing, 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 infinitesimally, 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 extremely, 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 infinitesimally, 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 extremely, 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 lack, lack, extremely, 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 lack, 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 erudition, lack, erudition, 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 lay down, lay down, lie down, lie down, lack, 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 erudition, 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 lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down, observation, 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 suffered, suffered, observation for the time being, observation, observation, suffered, stroke, stroke, hemorrhagic, 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 hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic,
hemorrhagic, hemorrhagic, ischemic, 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 ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic,
ischemic, ischemic, restrict, restricted, restricted, ischemic, 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 hemorrhagic, 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 ischemic, 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 restricted, 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 flow, flow, restricted, flow, vascular, 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 neurology, 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 passion, 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 occurred, 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 affected, 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 occurred, occurred, affected, affected, occurred, passion, neurology, 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 passion, passion, occurred, affected, 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 vascular, 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 neurology, 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 passion, occurred, affected, affected, flow, flow, vascular, 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 flow, restricted, 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 ischemic, 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 hemorrhagic, 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 stroke, suffered, suffered, observation, 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 observation. Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Mimi, in her daughter. Mimi, I'm her daughter, Kimiko Kishi. Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Mimi, I'm her daughter, Kimiko Kishi. I'm her daughter, Kimiko Kishi. Mrs. Kishi, your mother is stable. Mrs. Kishi, your mother is stable. Oh, thank God. But we do want, but we do want to keep her underclothes, observation, underclothes observation for the time being, underclothes observation. But we do want but we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her under close observation for the time being. She suffered a pretty serious stroke. She suffered a pretty serious stroke. Hemorrhagic or ischemic. Hemorrhagic or ischemic. Hemorrhagic or ischemic. Ischemic. Restricted flow of blood to the brain. Restricted flow of blood. A restricted flow of blood to the brain. As expected due to her age. As expected due to her age. You seem to know a lot about this. Vascular neurology. Neurology is one of my areas of passion. Vascular neurology. Vascular neurology is one of my areas. Of passion. Now, how is she? Well, the stroke occurred. The stroke occurred on the left side of her brain. Occurred. Well, the stroke occurred. The stroke occurred on the left side of her brain. On the left side of her brain. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. How is she? Well, the stroke occurred. How is she? Well, the stroke occurred on the left side of her brain. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. Mimi can't talk. Well, it's too early to tell. Mimi can't talk. Well, it's too early. It's early to say. Well, it's too early to say. Miracles do happen. Miracles do happen. We'll know more over the next 48 hours. We'll know more over the next 48 hours. We'll know more over the next 48 hours. Intensive. In the intensive care unit. In the intensive care unit. Can we see her? Of course. Unfortunately, we don't allow children under 14. In the intensive care unit. 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 You guys go. I'll stay here. I'll stay here. Covered. So I talked to all girls this morning. So I talked to all the girls this morning. And we've got all your jobs. And we've got all your jobs covered. And we've got all your jobs covered for the next few weeks. And we'll give you the money. Anyway. And and we'll give you the money anyway. Now covered, disabuse, notion, disabuse, notion. I won't be so sure about that. I won't be so sure about that. I wouldn't be so sure about that. What do you want, Jenny? What do you want, Jenny? What do you want, Jenny? Merely to dispute, merely to dispute. Merely to dispute you, of the notion. Notion. Merely to dispute you, merely to dispute you of the notion that Mimi's recovery will be sweet and or complete. Recovery, Mimi's recovery, Mimi's recovery notion, Mimi's recovery will be swift, or a swift class or complete, delude. You are saying she won't get better. You are saying she won't get better. Mimi is 83 years old. Her likelihood is total recovery is low. Her likelihood of blood. Her likelihood of total recovery is low. Total recovery is low. We shouldn't have delude ourselves. Delude. We shouldn't delude ourselves. We shouldn't delude ourselves. We shouldn't delude. We shouldn't delude ourselves. I wouldn't be so sure about that. What do you want, Janine? Merely to dispute you of the notion. Merely to dispute you of the notion that Mimi's recovery will be sweet and or sweet slash or complete. Notion, dispute, disputes. Merely to dispute you of the notion that Mimi's recovery will be swift and or slash complete. You are saying she won't get better. Mimi is 83 years old. Her likelihood of total recovery. Her likelihood of total recovery is low. We shouldn't delude ourselves. We're under discovery. Delude. Delude. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. Delusional.
Delusional.
Delusional.
Delusional.
Delusional.
Delusional.
Delusional. You think
Delusional.
I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. Bottom. You think I'm delusional. You think Mimi's gonna give up, but I know better than that. I know better than that, and that's why she loves me more than you. I didn't talk to her for the rest of the afternoon. Bottom. Now needs more space at the bottom. Needs more space at the bottom, so it doesn't distract the judges. Distract. So it doesn't distract the judges. I'll get it. Distract. Casserole. Casseroles. But we have casseroles. Oh, we are here. No one calls us, but we have casseroles here. Casseroles here. Disillusional. Delusional. Bottom. Delusional. Bottom. Distractor. Casserole. Blender. Casserole. Blender. Delusional. Bottom. Delusional. Bottom. Distract. Casserole. Delusional. Casserole. Delusional. Casserole. Bottom. Distract. Casserole. Blender. Casserole. Oh, we are here too. Oh, no one caught us. But we have casseroles. No one caught us, but we have casseroles. Blender. I'm done. Is that a blender? Is that a blender? Blender, is that a blender? It's this thing. It's this thing I draw. It's this thing I draw. Oh, cause nothing says get well soon like a blender. Get well soon like a blender. Oh, cause nothing says get well soon like a blender. Well, I think it's cool. Oh, cause nothing says. Oh, cause nothing says get well soon like a blender. Well, I think it's cool. Well, I think it's cool. Blender. Feminist. 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 Debt. 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 Compromise. 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 Cast iron. Cast iron. Cast iron. That's cast iron. Cast iron. That's cast iron. That's cast iron. Inevitable. 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 Well, I surprised it was inevitable. Inevitable. It was inevitable. It was inevitable. Inevitable. It was inevitable. Clay. Clay. It has clay. It has clay in it. Clay. Goodness. 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 Feminist. 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 Christy's worried that if our mom isn't stressed about money, if our mom isn't stressed, Christy said, Christy's worried that if our mom isn't stressed about money, every single second of her life, every single second of her life, she's gonna stop being a feminist or something. She's gonna stop being a feminist or something. Christy's worried that I might make one that covers my whole world. I might have one. I might make one that covers my whole world. Once we are at Watchen's house. Once we are at Watchen's house. Are you getting excited to move? 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 Chris is worried about if our mom isn't stressed about money every single second of her life, she's gonna stop being a feminist or something. So it's better we all live on top of each other and go into crazy debt for college and go into crazy debt crazy debt for college rather than compromise rather than compromise our values by letting mom marry a chill guy that totally loves her, that totally loves her. Isn't that right, Chris? Isn't that right, Christy? Well, when you put it that way, when you put it that way, when you put it that way, that feminist, blender, compromise, and go into a crazy debt of college, rather than compromise our values, rather than compromise our values, rather than compromise our values by letting mom marry a chill guy that totally loves her. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Christy? Cast iron, compromise, 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 compromise. Cast iron, cast iron. Oh, that's cast. That's cast iron here. Do it by hand. Well, here, do it by hand. Inevitable, 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 inevitable. Well, I suppose that it was inevitable. Well, I suppose that it was inevitable. I was sorry to hear that. I was sorry to hear that you and Sharon stopped seeing each other. The girls talk. The girls talk. Well, I suppose. Well, I suppose it. Well, I suppose it was. Well, I stopped. It was. Well, I stopped. Well, I stopped. It was. In inevitable, inevitable, inevitable. Well, I suppose. Well, I suppose it. Well, I suppose it. Well, I suppose that it was inevitable. After all, she's lovely and free spirit, and free spirited, and free spirited, and I tuck in my shirt very tightly. The girls do talk. The girls do talk. The girls do talk. Your hair looks nice. I has clay in it. It has clay in it. Clay. It has clay. It has clay in it. Goodness. 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 Oh my goodness. Claudia, your mom called from Claudia, your mom called from the hospital. Claudia, your mom called from the hospital. Claudia, your mom called from the hospital. Mimi woke up. Mimi woke up already. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh Claudia. Oh my goodness. Oh Claudia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh Claudia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Goodness. Oh my goodness. Observation. 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 Suffered. 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 Observation. Observation. Suffered. Observation. Suffered. Stroke. Stroke. Hemorrhagic. 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 Ischemic. 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 Restricted. 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 Flow. flow, vascular, 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 neurology, 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 passion, 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 occurred, 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 affected, 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 intensive, 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 covered, 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 disputes, 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 notion, 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 recovery, swift, 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 likelihood, likelihood, delude, 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 delusional, 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 bottom, distract, casserole, casserole, blender, feminist, blender, 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 feminist, feminist, debt, feminist, debt, compromise, 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 cast, cast iron, cast iron, cast iron, cast iron, inevitable, 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 clay, inevitable, inevitable, clay, goodness, 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 exhibition, 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 sneak, 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 exhibition, exhibition, wheelchair, 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 disguise, 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 swig, 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 upset, 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 refine, 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 upset, refine, 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 poison, 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 scribble, 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 abstract, prize, pottery, 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 progress, pottery, pottery, prize, pottery, exhibition, exhibition, exhibition. Are you feeling okay? My big art show's tomorrow. The Eastern Connecticut School District exhibition, exhibition, exhibition. Maybe we could maybe we could sneak you out in a wheelchair, Maybe we could sneak you out in a wheelchair. Disguise. I could make you disguise like big sunglasses and wig. Wheelchair. Disguise. 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 Wig. I could make you a disguise. I could make you a disguise like a big sunglasses and wig. Upset. She's upset. Better let her rest. She's upset. Better let her rest. Better. Refine. Better. Refine. Now, it was hard to think about anything about Mimi. At least I had the art fair to distract me. At least I had the art fair to distract me. Art fair. These are so good. They almost make me forget that refined sugar. Refined sugar is legal poison. Refined sugar is legal pointed poison. Is legal poison. It's legal poison. Yeah, and they actually look like something. Instead of refined poison, refined sugar is legal poison. These are so good. They almost make me forgot that refined sugar. Refined sugar is legal poison. Refined sugar is legal poison. Refined sugar is legal poison. Legal poison. Scribble. Scribble. Yeah, and they could look like something. Instead of scribbles, instead of scribbles that you can't even tell what they are supposed to be. Scribbles, yeah, and they actually look like something. Instead of scribbles that you can't even tell what they are supposed to be. So I believe the word you are looking for is uh, ad, abstract, abstract, abstract. I believe the word you are looking for is abstract, abstract. Pottery. Hi, Marianne. What are you doing here? My sister is showing her pottery. Pottery. My sister is showing her pottery. Hi, what are you doing here? My sister showing her pottery. My sister showing her pottery. Oh, you like this one? Oh, what? This? What is it? Oh boy. I think it's a basket of eggs. Eggs. Pottery. 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 Progress. 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 Magically. You spoke. That's progress. You didn't just magically become Stacy. Magically. You didn't just become. You didn't just magically become Stacy. Theory. Theory. I do in theory. 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 Shading. Theory. Shading. Theory. Theory. Shading. Motivation. 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 Homage. 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 Consumerism. Consumerism. Homage. Consumerism. Homage. Consumerism. Consumerism. Motivation. Motivation. Shading. The shading on that. The shading on that. The shading on that. The shading on that one turned out really nice. Paola. That was the motivation of you. That was motivation. Homage. It's like pop art homage about. It's like a pop art homage about American consumerism. American consumerism. American consumerism. American consumerism. Homage. It's like pop art homage about. It's about American consumerism. It's about American consumerism. 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 Crinkle. Crinkle. Draftsman, 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 impressive, impressive, urge, urge. I would urge you, urge, urge, urge. Aphasia, aphasia, aphasia. Draftsman, draftsman, draftsman. Crinkle, crinkle, a little crinkles. I thought it'd be cool to draw the little crinkle, draw the little crinkles. Yeah, good evening. Crinkles, 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 crinkle. Draftsman, draftsman. Your skill as a draftsman is impressive. Draftsman, draftsman. Your skill as a draftsman is impressive. But if you choose to continue making art, I would urge you to ask yourself why. I would urge you to ask yourself why. I would urge you to ask yourself why. Why this? Why now? Why you? What images do you need the world to see? Truth. Crinkle. Draftsman, crinkle, draftsman, impressive words. Aphasia. Patients with aphasia. Patients with aphasia. Aphasia. Marginal. Aphasia. Marginal. Horcrux. It's a Horcrux. Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Just when
Horcrux.
Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. A piece of someone's soul is trapped in there. Trap. Just when I thought I was out. Just when I thought I was out, he pulls me back in. It's the eyes. They haunt you. It's the eyes. They haunt you. Maybe it's Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. A piece of someone's soul is trapped in there. Trap. a piece of someone's soul is trapped in there, calling out to me. I think you are maybe right. Trap, injury, excess, injury, excess, injury, sometimes after a brain injury, excess. A person's oldest memories are the easiest to access. Horrocks, trapped, injury, excess, excess, anemia, like Narnia, or something like Narnia or something. What's meant now? Is it some make believe place? Is it some make believe place like Narnia?
The Chronicles of Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
Chronicles of Narnia. Chronicles of Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia.
What's Mandarin? Claudia, you can't be serious. What's Mandarin? Claudia, you can't be serious. Is it some make believe place? Is it some make place? Is it some make believe place like Narnia or something? It was an internment. It was an internment camp. Classified. Alien. Interment. It was an internment. It was an internment camp. Mimi and her family were there for 3 years, starting when she was 5. During World War II, Japanese American citizens were classified as enemy aliens by the U.S. as enemy aliens by the U.S. During World War II. Japanese Americans, American citizens, were classified as aliens by the U.S. The U.S. government stripped them from their homes and put them into prison camps, all because they were Japanese. Arrested. Narnia. Interment. Narnia. Interment. Classified. Classified. Alien. Rested. Store. Racetrack. Arrested. When they were first arrested, the camps weren't ready, so they stepped for months in horse stores. So they slept. So they slept for months in horse stores. At the racetrack. Stores at the racetrack. House. When they were processed. They had to wear numbered tags on their coats. They had to wear under the stage on their coats when they were processed. When they were processed. The food was terrible, rotten, frozen. Things like Vienna. Things like Vienna. Things like a Vienna sausage. Things like a Vienna sausage and canned fruit. Things like a Vienna. Things like a Vienna sausage. Things like a Vienna sausage and canned fruit. Canned fruit. Narnia. Interment. Classified. Were classified as enemy. Were classified as enemy aliens by the U.S. alien, alien, arrested, arrested, stole, arrested, stole. When they were first arrested, the camp wasn't ready, so they slept 4 months in the horse stall at the racetrack, horse house. They had to wear numbered tags on their coats. They had to wear numbered tags on their coats when they were processed. The food was terrible, rotten, frozen. Things like Vienna sausage and canned fruit, peaches, barbed, there was barbed wire, there was barbed wire, armed guards, No one knew what would happen or when it would end. Guard. Afghan. Scarf. Afghan scarf. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. So I guess it's a scarf. I made you an Afghan, but I ran out of yarn. So I guess it's a scarf. Scarf. All eight of them. Scarf. Horcrux. Trap. Injury. Excess. Injury. Excess. Narnia. Entertainment. Interment. Classified. Alien. Classified. Alien. Arrested. Stall. Racetrack. Processed. Vienna. Protest. Processed. processed, processed, Vienna, Vienna, canned, canned, barbed, 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 armed, barbed, armed, barbed, barbed, armed, guard, Afghan, 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 scarf, Afghan, Afghan, scarf, 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 Afghan, Afghan, scarf, scarf. Just when I thought I was out. Just when I thought I was out. Just when I thought I was out, he pulls me back in. He pulls me back in. Just when I thought I was out. Just when I thought I was out, he pulls me back in. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. They haunt you. It's the eyes. They haunt you. Just when I thought I was out. Just when I thought I was out, he pulls me back in. It's the eyes. They haunt you. Or maybe it's Horcrux. Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. A piece of someone's soul is trapped in there, calling out to me, calling out to me, calling out to me, calling out to me. I think you may be right. Is that you, Marianne? Is that you? Is that you, Marianne? It's my mom. It's my mom. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. A piece of someone's soul is trapped in there, calling out to me, calling out to me, calling out to me. I think you may be right. I think you may be right. Is that you, Marianne? It's my mom. It's my mom. Just when I thought I was out, he pulls me back in. It's the eyes. They haunt you. Or maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. Maybe it's a Horcrux. A piece of someone's soul is trapped in there, calling out to me, calling out to me. I think calling out to me, calling out to me. I think you may be right. I think you may be right. Is that you, Marianne? It's my mom. It's my mom. She's sleeping. She's sleeping. Mom and dad will be here in 20 minutes. Do you know what? Do you know what that was about? Do you know what that was about? I don't speak Japanese. Remember, you could have learned why mom and dad don't speak it. Why mom and dad don't speak it. And Mimi was born in America. She spoke Japanese growing up at home. She spoke Japanese growing up at home. It's her first language. Sometimes after a brain injury, a person's oldest memories are the easiest to access. That's why all the stuff about the manager keeps coming up. That's why all the stuff about the manager keeps coming up. She's sleeping. Mom and dad will be here in 20 minutes. She's sleeping. Mom and dad will be here in 20 minutes. Do you know what that was about? Do you know what that was about? Do you know what that was about? I don't speak Japanese, remember? You could have learned. You could have learned. You could have learned. You could have learned. Why? Mom and dad don't speak it. And Mimi was born in America. She spoke Japanese growing up at home. She speak Japanese. She speak Japanese. She speak Japanese growing up at home. It's her first language. It's her first language. It's her first language. Sometimes after a brain injury, sometimes after a brain injury, a person's oldest memories are the easiest to access. A person's oldest memories are the easiest to access. That's why all the stuff about Metzner keeps coming up. Keeps coming up. What's Metzner? Claudia, you can't be serious. It is some make-believe place. It is some make-believe place. Is it some make-believe place? Is it some make-believe place? Is it some make-believe place like Narnia or something? It was an internment. It was an internment camp. It was an internment camp. Mimi and her family were there. Mimi and her family were there for 3 years. Starting when she was 5. During World War II, Japanese American citizens were classified as enemy aliens by the U.S. The U.S. government ripped them from their homes. The U.S. government ripped them from their homes. The U.S. government ripped them from their homes and put them into prison camps or because they were Japanese or because they were Japanese. What's Metzner? Claudia, you can't be serious. What's Metzner? Claudia, you can't be serious. Is it some make-believe place like Narnia or something? It was an internment. It was an internment camp. Mimi and her family were there for 3 years, starting when she was 5. During World War II, Japanese American citizens were classified as enemy aliens by the U.S. The U.S. government stripped them from their home and put them into prison camps or because they were Japanese. I know about the internment. I know about the internment. I know about the internment. I didn't know it happened to Mimi. I didn't know it happened to Mimi. She doesn't talk about it unless you ask. She doesn't talk about it unless you ask. I asked her once, was it horrible? I asked her once, was it horrible? When they were first arrested in camps, were they when they were first arrested, the camps weren't ready. So they slept for 4 months. In horse stores at the racetrack horse house. They had to wear numbered tags on their coats. They had to wear numbered tags on their coats when they were processed. When they were processed, the food was horrible. The food was terrible. The food was terrible. The food was terrible, rotten, frozen. The food was terrible. The food was terrible, rotten, frozen. Things like vinia, things like vinia sausages and canned fruit. Things like rotten, frozen. Things like vinia. Things like vinia. Things like vinia sausage. Things like vinia sausage. Vienna. Things like a Vienna sausage. Things like a Vienna sausage. Things like a Vienna sausage. The food was terrible. The food was terrible, rotten, frozen. Things like Vienna sausage and canned fruit, peaches. There was barbed wire on the bars. There was barbed wire. There was barbed wire. There was barbed wire on the bars. No one knew what would happen. No one knew that would happen. No one knew that would happen or when it would end. When it would end. Or when it would end. Or when it would end. So Mimi is trapped in her worst memories forever. So Mimi is trapped in her worst memories forever. I know it doesn't seem like it. 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 But this is a good sign. But this is a good sign. But this is a good sign. She's finding herself again. But this is a good sign. She's finding herself again. She's finding herself again, and she'll be finding her way back to us, and she'll be find a way back, and she'll find her way, and she'll find her way back to us, to you. I don't understand how someone could do that to a family. I don't understand. I don't understand how someone could do that to a family. I don't understand why they still do. I don't understand. I don't understand why they still do. I don't understand. I don't understand why they still do. I don't understand why they still do. The past isn't dead. The past isn't dead. The past isn't dead. The past isn't dead. It isn't even past. It isn't even past. The past isn't dead. It isn't even past. I thought that was an old Buddhist saying to. I thought that was an old. I thought that was an old Buddhist saying too. But Janine said it was actually. But Janine said it was actually some guy named William Faulkner. William Faulkner. It was actually some guy named William Faulkner. I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one because the past, the good and the bad, will always be with us. Will always be with us. I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one because the past, the good and the bad, the good and the bad. I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one because the past, the good and the bad, the good and the bad will always be with you. Will always be with you. Will always be with you. We have to understand where we've been. We have to understand. We have to understand where we've been to know where we are going, where we are going, and the images each of us need to show the world, and the images each of us need to show the world. I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one because the past, the good and the bad will always be with us. We have to understand. We have to understand. We have to understand where we've been to know where we are, or to know where we are going, to know know where we are going, and the images each of us needed to show the world. We have to understand. We have to understand where we've been. We have to understand where we've been to know where we are going, and the images and the images each of us need to show the world. You are home. We are so happy to see you. You are home. We are so happy to see you. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan, but I ran out of yarn. I made you an Afghan. You are home. We are so happy to see you. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. I made you an Afghan. But I ran out of yarn. So I guess it's a scarf. So I guess it's a scarf. Thank you, beautiful. So I guess it's a scarf. Thank you, beautiful. Hi, Mimi. So glad you are better. Hi, Mimi. So glad you are better. You okay, Mimi? You okay, Mimi? You okay, Mimi? Hi, T. Call me when it's ready. Call me when it's ready, and I'll bring it upstairs. T. Call me when it's ready. Call me when it's ready, and I'll bring it upstairs. She's doing great. Yes, she is, Claudia. Well, what was a paint? What was that a phone? Was that a phone? What? The phone. Babysitter's Club. This is Chrissy Thomas speaking. Hi, Mrs. Pike. 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 City. Are you serious? I mean, we all have to ask. we all have to ask. Oh my gosh. All eight of them. A whole week of babysitting. All eight of them. A whole week of babysitting. 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 She opened her eyes. And she can hear us. Not talking much yet, but she's trying. She's in there. Why don't you go in there and take a moment? Why don't you go in there and take a moment? Oh, come on. She opened her eyes. And she can hear us. Not talking much yet, but she's trying. She's in there. Why don't you go in there? Why don't you go in there and take a moment? Oh, come on. No, Mimi. It's me, Claudia. I'm so glad you moved. I'm so glad you moved you, so I could see you too. So moved you, so I could see you too. You made get Glenak. We made get. Well cards. We made get We made get well cars. All the girls and the same. All the girls and the same. He drew this blender. He drew this blender. I'm so glad they moved you so I could see you too. We made get well cars. We made get we made get we made get well cards. We made get well cards. We made get well cards. All the girls and Sam. He drew this blender. Are you feeling okay? My big art shows tomorrow. Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling okay? My big art shows tomorrow. The Eastern Connecticut, the Eastern Connecticut School District exhibition. Maybe we could sneak you out in a wheelchair for an hour or two. I could make you a disguise. I could make you a disguise, like big sunglasses and a wig, like big sunglasses and a wig, like big sunglasses and a wig. She opened her eyes, and she can hear us. She opened her eyes, and she can hear us. Not talking much yet, but she's trying. She's in there. Why don't you go in there? Why don't you go in there and take a moment? Oh, come on, Mimi, it's me, Claudia. I'm so glad that they moved you, so I could see you too. We made get well cars. We made get well cars. All the girls and Sam. He drew this blender. He drew this blender. Are you feeling okay? My big art shows tomorrow. The Eastern Connecticut School District exhibition. Maybe we could sneak you out in a wheelchair. Maybe we could sneak you out. Maybe we could sneak you out in a wheelchair for an hour or two. I could make you a disguise. I could make you a disguise. I could make you a disguise like big sunglasses and a wig. I each peach. You want a peach? You want a peach? No peach. No. Where? Calm down. It's okay. Where? Calm down. It's okay. No house. No horse. Mimi, she's upset. Better let her rest. She's upset. Better let her rest. She's upset. Better let her rest. Better let her rest. I'd never seen her like this. I've never seen anyone like this. I learned to draw before I learned to read. Images have always helped me make sense the world. Images have always helped me make sense the world. Maybe they'd help me understand what Mimi was trying to tell me. Maybe not. I'd never seen her like this. I'd never seen her like this. I'd never seen anyone like this. I learned to draw before I learned to read. And before I learned to read, imagine always have the imagine have always helped me make sense the world. Maybe that help me understand. Maybe that help me understand what Mimi was trying to tell me. Maybe not. Maybe not. It was hard to think about anything but Mimi. It was hard to think about anything. It was hard to think about anything but Mimi. At least I had the art fair to distract me. These are so good. These are so good. They almost make me forget that refined sugar. Forgot that refined sugar is legal poison. It was hard to think about anything but Mimi. At least I had the art fair to distract me. At least I had the art fair to distract me. These are so good. These are so good. They almost make me forget that. They always make me forget that. These are so good. These are so good. These are so good. They almost these are so good. They almost make me forget that the refined sugar is legal poison. Yeah, and they actually look like something. And yeah, and they actually look like something instead of scribbles. Instead of scribbles that you can't even tell what they are supposed to be. I believe the world they are looking. I believe the word you are looking for is abstract. Hey, I like what I like. Hey, I like what I like. Hey, I like what I like. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. That's Paula in the glasses. Paula in the glasses. She's the one I was telling you about. She's the one I was telling you about. She's the one I'm telling you about. Good luck, Claude. Good luck. Break a leg. Break a leg. Break a leg. I know you are gonna win first prize. I know. You are gonna win. I know you are gonna win first prize. Mimi will be so proud. 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 Hi, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? My sister's showing her pottery. Hi, what are you doing here? My sister's showing her pottery. You like this one? What? This? What is it? Oh boy. I think it's a basket of eggs. I think it's a basket of eggs. Eggs. Bye. You spoke. That's progress. You spoke. You spoke. That's progress. You spoke. That's progress. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? New hair, new clothes, new room, and still, you didn't just magically become Stacy. You didn't just magically become Stacy. Marianne, can I ask you something? Do you even like your new room? I do, in theory. I do, in theory. I don't know. I guess it just doesn't feel like home. I don't know. I guess just it doesn't feel like home. Maybe there's something we could do about that. Maybe there is something we could do about that. Yeah, maybe there were still just something. Yeah, maybe there were just some things you weren't quite ready to leave behind. maybe there's something we could do. Maybe there's something we could do about that. Yeah, maybe there were just some things we weren't quite ready to leave behind. The shading on that one turned out really nice. Paula, what was the motivation? What was the motivation? What was the motivation for you to create these images? The shading on that one. The shading on that one turned out really nice. The shading on that one turned you really nice. What was the motivation for you to create these images? What was the motivation? What was the motivation for you to create these images? Let me say it another way. Let me say it another way. Let me say it another way. What are you hoping this work? What are you hoping? What are you hoping? What are you hoping this work communicates to the viewers? What are you hoping this work communicate? What are you hoping? What are you hoping this work communicates to the viewers? What are you hoping this work communicates to the viewers? It's like a pop art homage about. It's like a pop art homage about American consumerism. About American consumerism. How so? I thought it'd be cool to draw the little crinkles. I thought it'd be cool to draw the little crinkles. Your skill as a draftsman, is impressive. But if you choose to connect the making art, but if you choose to continue the making art, I would urge you to ask yourself why. I would urge you to ask yourself why. Why this? Why now? Why you? What images do you need the world to see? What images do you need the world? To see? If I chose to continue making art, did that mean she thought I should stop? Did that mean she thought I should stop? Are you feeling better, okay, Mimi? Here, what are you doing? Trying to help Mimi. What are you doing? Trying to help Mimi. Patients with aphasia. Aphasia. Patients with aphasia. Patients with aphasia. That is, people who have trouble with spoken language like Mimi often respond more clearly to images. Patients with aphasia. Patients with aphasia. aphasia, aphasia. Patient with
Aphasia.
aphasia,
Aphasia.
aphasia, aphasia. Patients with aphasia, patients with aphasia. Patients with aphasia. That is people who have trouble. That is people who have trouble with spoken language, like Mimi. Often respond more clearly to images. Patients with aphasia. Patients with aphasia. That is people who have trouble with spoken language, like Mimi. Often respond more clearly to images. I thought if you draw something, it might help Mimi find her words. Yeah, cause I'm such a skilled draftsman. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, cause I'm such a skilled draftsman. I thought if you draw something, it might help Mimi find her words. It might help Mimi find her words. Yeah, cause I'm such a skilled draftsman. Draftsman, fine. Fine, Mimi. What can I draw that will magically make you again? A butterfly. A butterfly, a teapot, a yarn ball, peach, no, I know you hate peaches, horse, house, no, Kodomo, no, I don't understand what you mean, I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Mimi, are you talking about Mandanar? Are you talking about Mandanar? Yes, Mandanar. I remember Mandanar. You told me about it before. You told me about it before. My whole life, there were two things I knew for sure. That I was an artist, and that Mimi understood me, but I felt like I didn't know anything. And that Mimi understood me. Now it felt like I didn't know. Anything. Fine, Mimi. What can I draw? Fine, Mimi. What can I draw that? What can I draw that will magically make you again? A butterfly, a teapot, a yarn ball. Fine, Mimi. What can I draw that? Fine, Mimi. What can I draw that will magically make you again? A butterfly, a teapot, a yarn ball, peach. No. I know you hate peaches. I know. I know you hate peaches. I know you hate peaches. I know you hate peaches. Horse, house. No, Kodomo, no. I don't understand what you mean. Mimi, I don't understand what you mean. Are you talking about Mandanar? Yes, Mandanar. I remember Mandanar. You told me about it. You told me about it before. You told me about it before. My whole life, there were two things I knew for sure. My whole life, there were two things I knew for sure that I was an artist, and that Mimi understood me. Now I felt like I didn't know anything. My whole life, there were two things I knew for sure: that I was an artist and that Mimi understood me. Now I felt like I didn't know anything. Now I felt like I didn't know anything. So are you loving your room? Oh, totally. Mm. Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Yes, Mimi, I'm her daughter, Kimiko Kisi, Mrs. Kisi. Your mother is stable. Oh, thank God. Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Are you the family of Makiko Yamamoto? Mimi, I'm her daughter. I'm her daughter, Kimiko Kisi. Oh, Mrs. Kisi, your mother is stable. Oh, thank God. But we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her under close under under close observation. Under close observation for the time being. 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 Observation, observation. But we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her. But we do want to keep her under close observation. Under close observation. Under close observation for the thing. For the time being. For the time being. She suffered a pretty serious stroke. She suffered a pretty serious stroke. She suffered a pretty serious stroke. Her hemorrhagic or ischemic. Hemorrhagic or ischemic. Hemorrhagic or ischemic. Ischemic. Restricted flow of blood to the brain. A restricted flow of blood to the brain, as expected due to her age. As expected due to her age. You seem to know a lot about this. Vascular neurology. Vascular neurology. Vascular neurology is one of my areas of passion. Is one of my areas of passion. How is she? Well, the stroke occurred. The stroke occurred on the left side of her brain. How is she? How is she? Well, the stroke occurred on the left side of her brain. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. Mimi can't talk. Well, it's so early to tell. Miracles to happen. We'll know moreover the next 48 hours. You seem to know a lot about this. You seem to know a lot about this. Vascular neurology. Vascular neurology. Vascular neurology is one of my areas of passion. How is she? Well, stroke occurred. The stroke occurred on left side of her brain. So her speech will almost certainly be affected. Mimi can't talk. Well, it's too early to tell. Well, it's too early to tell. Mimi can't talk. Well, it's too early to. Well, it's too early to tell. Miracles do happen. We'll know more over the next 48 hours. Can we see her? Of course. Unfortunately, we don't allow children under 14 in the intensive care unit. You guys go. I'll stay here. Now we'll see you in a bit, kiddo. There was one person in my life who would have stayed with me, but she wasn't here. Can I see her? Of course. Can I see her? Of course. Unfortunately, we don't allow children under 14 in the intensive care unit. You guys go. I'll stay here. We'll see you in a bit, kiddo. We'll see you in a bit, kiddo. There was one person in my life who wouldn't have stayed with me, but she wasn't here. Who wouldn't have stayed with me, but she wasn't here. So I talked to all the girls this morning. I talked to all the girls this morning, and we've got all your jobs. Covered for the next few weeks, and we'll give you the money, anyway. So I talked to all the girls. This morning, and we've got all your jobs covered. And we've got all your jobs covered for the next few weeks, and we'll give you the money anyway. Honestly, I just want everything to be as normal as possible. Mimi's gonna be fine. Honestly, I just want everything to be as normal as possible. Mimi's gonna be fine. I wouldn't be so sure about that. What do you want, Janine? Merely to dispute you to the notion that Mimi's recovery will be sniffed and complete or / complete. You are saying she won't get better. You are saying she won't get better. Mimi is 83 years old. Her likelihood of total recovery is low. Her likelihood of total recovery is low. We shouldn't delude ourselves. We shouldn't delude ourselves. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. You think I'm delusional. You think Mimi's gonna give up. You think You think Mimi's gonna give up, but I know better than that, and that's why she loves me more than you. I didn't talk to her for the rest of the afternoon. I didn't talk to her for the rest of the afternoon. For the rest of the afternoon, I didn't talk to her. I didn't talk to her. I didn't talk to her for the rest of the afternoon. Needs more space at the bottom. Needs more space at the bottom. So it doesn't distract the judges. So it doesn't distract the judges. I'll get it. Hi, sweetie, your parents, I'll get it. Hi, sweetie, your parents called and asked me to check up on you. Your parents called and asked me to check up on you while they are at the hospital. While they are at the hospital, I brought pizza. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, we are here too. No one called us. No one called us, but we have casserole. But we have casseroles. Oh, we are here too. No one called us, but we have casseroles. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Oh, what kind of casserole? What kind of casserole? Healthy. What kind of casserole? Healthy. What kind of pizza? Hi, Claude. Hi, Christy. Hey. Hi, Claude. Hi, Christy. Hey. She's gonna be okay, right? Absolutely. Hey. Hi. I'm staying for dinner. I'm staying for dinner. Oh my God. Stacy, what? Since Stacy was here, Mary Ann texted Dawn to come over too. Oh my God, no. It was fun. One big happy family, more or less. Sam, I like yours. Oh, thanks. I'm done. Is that a blender? I'm done. Is that a blender? It's this thing. It's this thing I draw. Oh, cause nothing says get well soon like a blender. Well, cause nothing says get well soon like a blender. Well, I think it's cool. I might make one that covers my whole wall once we are at Watchen's house. Are you getting excited too? Are you getting excited to move? Christy worried that if our mom isn't stressed about money every single second of her life, she's gonna stop being a feminist or something. She's gonna stop being a feminist or something. Christy worried that if our mom isn't stressed about money every single second of her life, she's gonna stop being a feminist or something. So it's better we all live on top of each other. So it's better we all live on top of each other. So it's better we all live on top of each other and go into crazy debt for college rather than compromise our values compromise our values by letting mom marry a chili guy. By letting mom marry a chill guy. By letting mom marry a chill guy that totally loves her. Isn't that right, Christy? Well, when you put it that way. Oh, that's cast iron. Here, do it by hand. It was nice of you to bring that over. Oh well, the kisses have always been so kind to us. Oh well, the kiss is always right between two kind of been so kind to us. Well, the kisses have always been so kind to us. It particularly Mimi. I was sorry to hear that you and Saren stopped seeing each other. The girls talk. Well, I suppose that it was inevitable. Yeah, I suppose that it was inevitable. After all, she's lovely and feel spiritual and free and a free spirit and feel spiritual. After all, she's lovely and free spirited and free spirited. And I tuck in my shirt very tightly. The girls do talk. Your hair looks nice. It has clay in it. It has clay in it. It has clay. It has clay. It has clay in it. It has clay in it. So are you loving your new room? So are you loving your new room? Oh yes, totally. I don't know. I think I just need to get used to it. That makes sense. Claudia, your mom called from the hospital. Mimi woke up already. Oh my goodness. Oh, Claudia. I knew it. I knew that my Mimi was gonna be all right. I knew that one. I knew that my Mimi was gonna be all right. I knew that my Mimi was gonna be all right. Mimi was gonna be all right. There's an old Buddhist saying, remembering a wrong is like carrying a burden in the mind. So true. Mary Ann isn't home. We actually came to see you. Great. There's an old Buddhist saying. There's an old Buddhist saying. Remember a wrong is like carrying a burden in the mind. So true. Marianne isn't home. We actually came to see you. Great. We feel terrible about what happened the other week with the wallpaper. We feel terrible about what happened the other week with the wallpaper. So do I. You were trying to do something nice for Marianne, and I'm sorry for the way I reacted, and I'm sorry for the way I reacted, and I'm sorry for the way I reacted. Well, we were actually hoping you'd say that. Well, we were actually hoping you'd say that because we've come to propose. Creative collaborations. Have you ever heard of Queer Eye? Have you ever heard of Queer Eye? Of course. Oh no. They are not here, are they? They are not here, are they? Of course, oh no, they are not here, are they? They are not here, are they? No, but we are the terrific too. But we are terrific too. But we're the terrific too. I love that. I love that. Now, have you ever heard of a queer eye? Of course, oh no, they are not here. No, but we are the terrific too. I love that. So we were thinking that this time we could redo Marianne's room again. So we were thinking of, this time we were thinking that this time we will redo, this time we could redo Marianne's room again. So we were thinking that this time we could redo Marianne's room again. Richard wasn't a bad guy. Richard wasn't a bad guy. He just needed to he just needed to be worn down to death. Please, I don't know. Okay, really? Oh my gosh, you won't regret it. We promise you won't regret it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. We promise. So A or B. I focused on the room stuff while Stacy tried to get Richard on board with a mood of his own. For what? And the great work began. So A or B. I focused on the room stuff while Stacy tried to get Richard on board with a mood of his own. For what? And the great work began. I thought this was hip. Look, let's try some glue. Okay. Just on one little brush. Okay, just one little brush. Okay, just one little brush. Okay. Just one. This smell really good. Smell it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, why don't? You know what? I think I'd like to read the instructions first. I think you know what? I think I'd like to read the instructions first. Read the instructions first. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. This rug is my husband. I love the purple. It's so pop yet regal. Pop yet regal. Exactly. This looks like a room my mom stays for buyers, and that's a compliment. 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 This pillow is divorcing the this pillow. I'm divorcing the rug and marrying this pillow. I'm divorcing the rug. I'm divorcing the rug and marrying this pillow. Marianne, what do you think? It's very purple, but great. Just goes to show what you can accomplish. Just goes to show what you can accomplish with a singular artistic vision. Speaking of which, right before spring break, spring break. Speaking of which, right before spring break, Mrs. Johansson chose me as an official artist in the Eastern Connecticut District Art Show. And because I'm also a romantic genius, I had the idea of inviting Trevor Sambon over to help me choose which pieces to show. The Tootsie, the Tootsie Roll Pop. The Tootsie Roll Pop is very compelling. The Tootsie Roll Pop. The Tootsie Roll Pop is very compelling. Thank you. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this. But one of the judges on the panel. But one of the judges on the panel. But one of the judges on the panel is the head of admissions. Is the head of admissions for the Summer Art Institute in New Haven. In case you didn't know, New Haven is what fancy people call Yale. In case you didn't know, New Haven is what fancy people call Yale. The Tootsie Roll Pop is very compelling. The Tootsie Roll Pop is very compelling. Thank you. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this, but one of the judges on the panel is the head of admissions. Is the head of admissions. But one of the judges on the panel is the head of admissions for the Summer Art Institute in New Haven. In case you didn't know, New Haven is what fancy people call Yale. Trevor was talking about the most prestigious about the most prestigious high school fine arts, prestigious high school fine arts program in the country. Seriously, I mean, they don't usually take middle schoolers. Seriously, I mean, they don't usually take middle schoolers. Seriously, I mean, they don't usually take middle schoolers, but sometimes they make exceptions. 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 I really think Paula will respond to this. I really think Paula will respond to this. I really think Paula will respond to this. Is this triptych? Is this triptych intended as a pop art homage? Is this triptych intended as a pop art homage? Or do you feel you have something to say? Or do you feel you have something to say about American consumerism that hasn't been said before? This is my sister Janine. She hatched from a space pod my parents found in the. She hatched from a space pod my parents found in the compost bin and has struggled to adapt and has struggled to adapt to the customs of Earth. Is this a triptych? Is this triptych intended as a pop art homage? Is this a triptych intended as a pop art homage, or do you feel you have something to say about American consumerism that hasn't been said before? This is my sister Jenny. She hatched from a space pod my parents found in the compost bin. And has struggled to adapt and and has struggled to adapt to the customs of Earth. This is my sister Janine. She hatched from a space pod, and my parents found in the compass bin and has struggled to adapt to the customs of Earth. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me to verify your finished review questions on your social studies. On your social studies unit on World War II before their return from the cinema tonight. I should probably get home anyway. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me to verify your finished. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me to verify your finished. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me to verify your finished review questions on your social studies unit on World War II. Remind you, our parents asked me to verify your finished review questions on your. I merely came to remind you. Our parents asked me to verify your finished review questions on your social studies unit on World War II before their return from the cinema tonight. From their return before their return from the cinema tonight. Before their return from the cinema tonight. I should probably get home. I should probably get home. Anyway, Janine is a life ruiner. Janine is a life ruiner. She literally ruins lives. Even worse, after dinner, Mimi suggested we make her feel included by offering to play her favorite game. Perhaps I should cede my next turn in the interest of livelier gameplay. Mimi, are you alright? Just a little tired. Claudia, why don't you take your turn? Purple. Claudia, that's art. The artist, Georges Seurat, is known for developing what kind of infinitesimally focused painting technique? Is known for developing what kind of infinitesimally focused painting technique? Excuse me, this should be easy. Art is a subject of which you are meant to be extremely knowledgeable. First you humiliate me. In front of Trevor. Who's Trevor? And now you are making fun of me because I can't answer some stupid questions in your stupid game. Janine is a life ruiner. She literally ruins lives. Even worse, after dinner, Mimi suggests we make her feel included by offering to play her favorite game. Perhaps I should cede my next turn in the interest of uh, livelier gameplay. Mimi, are you alright? Just a little tired. Why don't you take your turn? Purple. Claudia, that's art. The artist, Rogers, is known for developing what kind of infinitesimally focused painting technical. Excuse me? This should be easy. Art is a subject of which you are meant to be extremely knowledgeable. Art is a subject of. This should be easy. Art is a subject of which you are meant to be extremely knowledgeable. Which you are meant to be extremely knowledgeable. First, you humiliate me in front of a traveler who's traveler. And now you are making fun of me because I can't answer some stupid question in your stupid game. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not making fun of you. I was merely expressing my surprise in your lack of erudition, in your lack of erudition in your chosen field. You don't choose to be an artist, Janine. You just are. I'm not making fun of you. 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 I was merely expressing my surprise in your lack of erudition in your chosen field. You don't choose to be an artist, Janine. You don't choose to be an artist, Janine. You just are. Art isn't about stupid facts. Art isn't about stupid facts. Art isn't about stupid facts. It's about feelings. But do you even know what that is? But do you even know what that is? But do you even know what that is? Do you ever feel anything? Claudia, that is enough. Mimi, I'm going to go lie down. I'm going to go lie down. This is all your fault. This is all your fault. What is it? Mimi's upset, all because of you. Buddhist, burden, react, collaboration, queer, redo, Buddhist, Buddhist, burden, burden, react, collaboration, queer, redo, worn down, mood, glue, brush, instruction, instruction, worn down, worn down, worn down, worn down, mood, glue, brush, instruction, instruction, rug, regal, rug, rug, regal, rug, regal, stage, stage, compliment, compliment, stage, compliment, accomplish, 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 singular, accomplish, singular, vision, vision, singular, vision, district, 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 rug, regal, rug, regal, stage, compliment, compliment, rug, rug, regal, rug, regal, stage, compliment, compliment, accomplish, accomplish, compliment, 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 accomplish, accomplish, singular, vision, district, district, to see, district, district, to see, compelling, compelling, to see, compelling, to see, compelling, judge, panel, admission, admission, institute, 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 Yale, Yale, prestigious, 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 scholar, scholar, exception, 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 Pella, exception, Pella, Yale, prestigious, 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 scholar, exception, 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 Pella, triptych, 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 intend, triptych, intend, triptych, intend, triptych, intend, homage, homage, intend, intend, homage, intend, homage, consumerism, consumerism, pod, consumerism, consumerism, pod, compost, 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 bin, compost, 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 compost,
Compost.
compost,
Compost.
compost,
Compost.
compost,
Compost.
compost,
Compost.
compost,
Compost.
Com-
Compost.
compost, compost,
Com-
compost, bean, struggled, bean, struggled, bean, bean, struggled, adapt, bean, struggled, adapt, custom, merely, verify, 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 ruiner, verify, ruiner, verify, ruiner, literally, literally, include, seed, seed, livelier, 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 George, 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 Geor, Georges, 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 SEU, Georges, Georges,
George's Fort.
Georges,
George's Fort.
Georges,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah, Georges, Syrah,
George's Fort.
Georges,
George's Fort.
Georges,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah,
George's Syrah.
Georges, Syrah, Georges, Syrah, Georges, Syrah, Georges, Syrah, developing infinitesimally, extremely, infinitesimally, extremely, lack, erudition, lie down, erudition, lie down, observation, suffered, stroke, hemorrhagic, ischemic, restricted, flow, restricted, flow, vascular, flow, vascular, neurology, neurology, passion, occurred, passion occurred, affected, passion occurred, affected, intensive, covered, disputes, intensive, covered, disputes, notion, disputes, notion, recovery, disputes, notion, recovery, swift, likelihood, delude, delusional, bottom, distract, casserole, distract, casserole, blender, feminist, blender, casserole, distract, bottom, casserole, blender, feminist, debt, feminist, debt, feminist, debt, feminist, debt, compromise, debt, compromise, debt, feminist, debt, compromise, cast iron, inevitable, inevitable, in inevitable, 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 inevitable,
Inevitable.
inevitable,
Inevitable.
inevitable,
Inevitable.
inevitable,
Inevitable.
inevitable,
Inevitable.
inevitable, 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 clay, inevitable, clay, goodness, goodness, exhibition, 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 exhibition,
Exhibition.
exhibition,
Exhibition.
exhibition, 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 sneak, sneak, exhibition, exhibition, sneak, wheelchair, 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 disguise, 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 wig, disguise, wig, disguise, disguise, wig, disguise, wig, upset, upset, refine, 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 poison, poison, refine, poison, poison, scribble, 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 abstract, scribble, abstract, scribble, scribble, abstract, prize, 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 pottery, 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 progress, pottery, progress, magically, progress, progress, pottery, pottery, magically, magically, theory, 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 shading, 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 motivation, 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 homage, motivation, homage, motivation, homage, homage, motivation, homage, consumerism, crinkle, 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 draftsman, 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 impressive, draftsman, impressive, draftsman, impressive, draftsman, impressive, draftsman, impressive, urge, 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 draftsman, impressive, urge, 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 aphasia, 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 imaginary, aphasia, marginal, aphasia, 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 marginal, aphasia, marginal, marginal, aphasia, marginal, aphasia, marginal, aphasia, marginal, marginal, aphasia, marginal, aphasia, marginal, aphasia, horcrux, 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 trap, injury, excess, injury, excess, injury, excess, horcrux, 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 trap, injury, excess, Narnia, 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 interment, interment, Narnia, interment, Narnia, interment, Narnia, interment, Narnia, interment, classified, 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 alien, alien, classified, alien, classified, classified, alien, classified, classified, alien, classified, classified, alien, classified, alien, classified, alien, arrested, arrested, stole, stole, arrested, 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 stole, stole, arrested, stole, arrested, stole, arrested, stole, racetrack, racetrack, race, racetrack, 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 processed, 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 Vienna, Vienna, processed, 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 Vienna, processed, Vienna, processed, Vienna, processed, 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 Vienna, processed, Vienna, canned, canned, barbed, 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 armed, guard, Afghan, Afghan, scarf, Afghan, scarf, Afghan, Afghan, scarf, Afghan, Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan,
Afghan, Afghan,
Afghan, Afghan, Afghan, horcrux, 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 trap, injury, access, Narnia, 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 interment, 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 classified, 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 alien, alien, arrested, stole, racetrack, racetrack, processed, 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 Vienna, Vienna, processed, Vienna, processed, 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 Vienna, canned, barbed, 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 armed, guard, Afghan, Afghan, bomb, armed, armed, barbed, barbed, armed, barbed, armed, guard, Afghan, Afghan, scarf, scarf, scarf.